Todd.
That's two different mindsets. Please, let's run that back. This is the difference between the poor and the rich. Please, this is literally, bro, like, this is a prime example of the difference between the poor and the rich. Look at what he said. Okay, I can't wait to watch this video, bro. This is gonna be, like, this is gonna be sad.
Step forward if you agree.
Bruh, that dude, bruh. Everybody.
Being poor is a choice.
Okay. So whenever we watch these videos, if you guys don't know how this works, I say my opinion first, and then when they come up, I'll pause and put inputs in there. Being poor is definitely not a choice. It definitely depends, right? It definitely depends in your situation. So, you know what I'm saying? A person can be lazy and become poor, and a person can grow up in a place. For example, I grew up in Ethiopia. Being poor is, for the most part, is not a choice. But in America, I could confidently say that it's a choice. Being poor is a choice. There is definitely situations that it's not a choice, but for the most part, it's a choice. Like in Ethiopia, where I grew up, for example, like you get no support from the government. You don't get anything. Like I'm dead ass, like at all. You get like, if you're poor, bro. Like it's hard to get jobs. Anybody can go work at McDonald's right now. But in Ethiopia, like you can't get a job. Getting a job is like something big in Ethiopia. So it definitely depends where you're at in life, your situation. But I would say if we're talking about America right now, I will definitely say it's a choice to be poor. Let me give you a perfect example. I'm working my ass off. I've been working my ass off since I'm 17. If I become rich, nigga, I'm rich because I worked for that shit. My family ain't rich. I'll definitely tell you that. My family ain't rich. Nigga, I slept in the living room for a lot of my life. Like I don't like to talk about the shit I went through because it's not a flex or anything. I'm just saying, like, I came from nothing. Like I literally went from sleeping in the same room as my mother, sleeping in the living room, sleeping in the same room as 3 other people, sleeping with my brother, and now I'm in my own room, and then I'm about to have my own house. You see how I built up to it? Definitely had some luck in it, 100%. But I'm saying it could be a choice or not. You could make an argument for the both of them, 100%. So she's the rich bitch, probably.
I do not want to be disingenuous to ignore systemic issues that we all experience, but I feel like it's 2021 and there's a lot of free resources. I mean, Facebook has a lot of free courses. I think that poor is also a mindset.
I agree. Originally, when I came out here, I started straight at the homeless shelter. I had to flee from domestic violence from my family. Most people in general don't choose to be poor, but since I've been here, specifically in LA, a lot of people outside, they don't want to come into the shelter because they'd rather be in the tents.
I mean, I grew up poor, so I have been on both sides of the coin, and I can reflect and look back on some of the lifestyle choices that I was making, some of the people that I was hanging around. So I don't think that people can initially control if they're born into poverty, but I think that there is a certain level of control that comes along
like I
with
said,
being
you can make an
able
argument for the
to
both sides.
have that determination and that resilience.
Can I have the disagreeer step forward?
Like they could easily say, like the disagreeers could easily say, like, I was born into a poor family, I grew up in a poor country, like all of that, it's a valid argument. So like,
we need to realize that these people are on the street not because of their own choosing, but because of the system that we live in perpetuates these things.
If I could speak to that, I come from a family that once relied on welfare and food stamps, and I have been blessed enough to make millions of dollars in real estate. But had I bought real estate from 2005 to 2008, I'd probably be bankrupt today. I just bought it at the right time.
People wish to be rich, they don't want to be rich. The difference is, do you take action? That being said, I agree with a lot of your points you're making about
Big
people
W gifted from
not-
Big Anti. Yes, Sirski. Big W. Big W's in the chat, man. That's my nigga Anti. That's my nigga Anti. Yeah, yeah. It's my nigga Anti.
really having the resources or the opportunity to have any kind of action plan.
Some people don't even want to be rich. Like, I don't want to be rich. Like, but I also don't want to be poor. I'm happy in the middle. And I would want to live in society where they could perpetuate people to lift themselves out of poverty through programs and just be in the middle.
Billionaires?
Okay, like, one thing I want you to know, is no matter what, no matter how many free programs, this is why, like, if I had to pick an answer for the last question, is being poor a choice? No matter how many programs, no matter how many opportunities the government provides, there's always gonna be poor people. And that proves that being poor is somewhat of a choice. 100%. So, like, yes, there's a lot of situations where people can't do anything other than be poor, but for the most part, being poor is a choice, bro.
Should not exist.
Billionaires should not exist. Like, look at this shit, bro.
I don't see how anyone could ever spend $1 billion. It's not a necessity to have that much money, and I feel like there is a certain cap in which, like, you can completely survive and thrive with this amount of money, and then if you surpass that, you're just hoarding.
And then we've seen what people with billions of dollars are doing with their money. They're going to space for fun. Like,
Right.
Clearly, if we tax those people properly, get their wealth and distribute it to people who need it, that'd be a much better use than going to space for fun.
Okay, let me tell you one thing about that. See. The thing he's suggesting is, you got $1 billion. You're not gonna finish the $1 billion. You obviously don't need the $1 billion because you're going to space and shit. So might as well tax you more than anybody else to give it to the poor people. That billionaire worked his ass off to get there. When I say work his ass off, like, I can't even imagine how hard they work. Like, it's beyond my imagination. Like, I've seen Elon Musk on an interview, and, like, he was like, the days of my startup, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. There was nights I couldn't sleep, like, literally working the whole night. Like, people work their ass off. So he worked his ass off to get where he's at right there, and somebody is sitting on their ass because they're fine with being poor. So you want to take his money that he worked his ass off for and give it to this lazy ass motherfucker? Is that really what you think, you know what I'm saying, we should do? Yes, they should be taxed, of course, just like any other any other person, but they should be taxed fairly. Like, they worked hard for that money. It doesn't matter how much money they got. They earned it. It's not like, you know what I'm saying, like, of course, luck had something to do with it, but, like, they worked their ass off for it. It's their money. They decide what they want to do with their money. If they want to go help out the poor, let them go help out with the poor. But if they don't want to do that, if they want to go to space, buy some useless ass objects, let them do that, bro. They earned that shit. When I say earned, I mean earned. Worked their ass off. Who are you to tell them what they're gonna do with their money? This is crazy. The audacity. It's actually crazy, bro. The audacity is actually crazy, bro.
Personally, I don't think there's an issue with billionaires existing. The issue for me is that they need to be held accountable the same way poor people do. And I'm talking about the justice system.
When you look at a lot of billionaires who have gotten that way because of the just incredible amount of value they've given to society, I won't even talk about a huge, crazy billionaire. I'll talk about Jay-Z, who's a billionaire. He made amazing music. That's how he became a billionaire. And so I don't think it's the government's job to interject and say, okay, you have too much, we need to give it away. I mean, it would also never happen in any other arena. No one's going to go, hey, Simone Biles, you have too many gold medals. We're going to take them from you, and we're going to give them to the other people who weren't as talented as you.
I completely agree.
I completely disagree. I feel like that is the government's job. And Jay-Z, like you said, Jay-Z made his money from music. That's his labor. He's a musician. He's selling his talent. But then when he invested in the alcohol, then he's using other people who are harvesting the wheat, the agave. They're breaking their back. They're using their labor.
So do you think that you shouldn't invest in those people? Should they just like say, the hell with your dreams, I'm not going to invest in you?
I'm saying.
What about the job?
What do you mean?
They're having jobs.
Yeah, but how much are they getting paid for the jobs? Or those jobs in the third world where they're getting paid pennies,
Yeah,
and then
versus
Jay-Z
no
makes...
He's gonna be one of those. He's gonna piss me off the whole video. The whole video. He's gonna piss me the fuck off. What? Like...
millions off their labor.
How many people? How much do you pay your employees?
You think harvesting isn't going to exist if Jay-Z doesn't invest?
If I may interject, I pay my employees like incredibly well, and I let them choose their own hours. Someone who works for me is a single mother. I pay her $50 an hour. And I think that people that are providing jobs and opportunities, you can hate on them all you want, but at the end of the day, like, nobody would work that job if it wasn't in some way, shape, or form worth it.
People who make $1 billion get a fraction of the value they create. Everybody here who has a business understands that. Even Jay-Z only gets 15 cents a record he sells. Okay?
Yes, that's because he got exploited by the record label who's using his labor to make money. It's the same
you
thing
keep using this word
when he
exploiting like
invests.
you understand the record business, of which I am in, okay? Record labels back hundreds of artists. Do you know how many go busto? Yeah. Okay? They're taking risk in an artist by the tapes, paying the engineers, marketing, et cetera. They're exploiting them. They're taking on a bet. And they can't just give everybody 50-50. They'll go bankrupt. You don't understand the record business, and you're just yelling out these words exploiting like you know what you're talking about, but you don't.
That's why
they're not exploiting.
That's why there's one Jay-Z and not millions
Exactly.
of them.
I actually want to ask a question of how you...
Thank you. Like, okay, and then one thing I want to add on, like, everybody's gonna be on his ass, including me. Put me in, coach. Like, put me in. I'll probably accidentally sock the nigga, but it's okay. Yo, I'll do my time. But like, this nigga pissing me off. But listen, if billionaires shouldn't exist, if there's a cap to how much money you can make, just think of the, like, economy. And just like he said, everybody that got $1 billion, multi-billion-dollar business, just like they're getting paid, they're putting a lot of value into this world. Tesla, Elon Musk. The amount of pollution that he's saving because of his electrical cars. That nigga earned the money. He deserves it. Like, I swear to God, like, he's acting like these niggas just got lucky, got a lottery, and then they're like, oh my God, like, this guy got lucky. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the guy worked his ass off for the money. He decides what he want to do. And then if the government puts a cap to how much you can make, it's gonna make an effect on the economy. Cause like, it's gonna make an effect on the world, period. Because there's not a reason to work your ass off no more. If you reach to that point, like, if a person can have more than $1 million, let's say somebody's working their ass off, they get there. Why should they work more? Somebody's success helps the whole country, the whole world. You know that, right? Like, people's inventions, phones, nigga. A person invented this. You're telling me that nigga doesn't deserve to be a billionaire? Like, it's stupid as fuck. Like, this guy is using his phone, chilling on his phone, calling his mother when she's hundreds of miles away from him. When he's in another state, calling his mother, talking to her peacefully. Using all the benefits that the billionaire made. And then he gonna say, oh, the billionaire doesn't deserve to be a billionaire. Bitch, shut the fuck up, man. You know, somebody smack this nigga, man. Just like the amount of money they're making, they're putting a lot of value into this world, bro. And that's 100% facts, like 100%.
Define exploited and why you're saying that.
I'm using exploited in the Marxian term where your labor creates value, and then your employer takes that value and distributes it unevenly to themselves and then leaves the rest for the workers. That's exploitation. My name is David. I work for Disney in the entertainment character department, and I make around $33,000 a year.
Yep.
How's your experience been working
That
at?
explains a lot. That explains a lot. This nigga making 33 G's, bro. Nah, that's fucked. That nigga, nah, that explains a lot. I mean, like, when you so down bad, when you're so broke, you can't do anything else except envy on others. Broke niggas, this guy is literally the definition of a broke person. He's making 30 G's, and he's literally getting on shows. You think this is his first show on here? Probably not, bro. He been everywhere talking about, oh, the rich people should be taxed more. If he was rich and he was saying that, okay, you can at least you could hear him out, because like he would be getting taxed too. But your broke ass, ugly ass, just trying to get some rich people's money.
Disneyland.
My experience working at Disneyland is very mixed. The workers themselves, like my coworkers, are amazing people. Unfortunately, the company is not so great. They don't pay us that much. They have enough money to pay us more. I think they should just pay us more. But I don't think they're gonna do that. That's why I'm advocating for a union to bargain in our favor.
My name is Ginny, and I run a software design agency. And this year I'm going to be taking home about $400,000. When I started my business, that was like all consuming for me. Everything I did in my life was for business. And so I think my partner felt a lot of neglect. And so a lot of our arguments, a lot of the times that we had issues were because of my absence.
The economy is rigged.
I know your ugly ass brace face has gonna pull up.
If you're born in a rich family, you have more opportunities. And as someone who
That's
is
not that
poor,
common.
living paycheck to paycheck, you're stuck having to apply to jobs and settle for things that you don't like instead of being able to follow your passions.
I agree and disagree. I agree that it's rigged to incentivize.
Yeah, so that has nothing to do with the economy. Let's just get out the way. Like, I'm telling you. Like I just said, like, bro, like, that has nothing to do. Your family being rich has nothing to do with the economy. I mean, it is kind of fucked up. It's not fair. You know, you came out of a rich person's pussy and I came out of a poor person's pussy. Like, that's not fair, but it's life. It has nothing to do with the economy.
Being able to follow your passions.
I mean,
I agree and
her point is
disagree.
completely irrelevant.
I agree that it's rigged to incentivize certain areas and behaviors, like we have millions and millions of farm subsidies, so it supports agribusiness. It may support one area like real estate or capital investment over labor, but I don't think it's generally rigged to basically keep the rich guy rich and the poor guy poor. That part I'll disagree. But there are certain policies like the reinvestment in productive people's hands for building real estate. I would say that's a good thing. Right?
When you say productive people, like, do you just mean people with money?
No, I mean people that actually take that money, organize people, put it to work, and create value. That's what I mean by productive people.
But who creates the value? It's the workers who create the value.
Listen, there's people who take...
Okay, please. Let him, shall I let him speak first? I don't want to let him speak first, because just in case he says something that I'm going to say and you guys are going to say I copied him. No, he copied me. Fuck you. But let me tell you this. He said, wait, let's just repeat what he said, just so it's a clip.
Organize people, put it to work, and create value. That's what I mean by productive
He said the
people.
workers create value.
But who creates the value? It's the workers who create the value.
Okay. Let me tell you this. The workers, I mean, any businessman would be nothing without the workers, but any worker would be nothing without the businessman as well, right? It seems fair. It's a fair point, right? But how many workers are in this world and how many businessmen are in this world? You gotta understand, when you are a businessman, if I'm a businessman, I put all my money into this. Let's say I open up a restaurant. Guess who's paying for the rent? That rent, no matter if we're making money or not, I'm paying the rent. So if the business fails, guess who's still gonna be paying the rent? Guess who's gonna go bankrupt? Me. I'm paying for all the ingredients. If the ingredients, we don't use the ingredients and the ingredients spoil or they expire, guess who's losing money? Me, the businessman. I have more risk in this shit. I have more to lose. So it's only fair that I have more to gain. Let's go to the worker's perspective. Minimum wage job. You come in McDonald's. No matter what you do within that hour, you're gonna get paid $19. Me as a businessman, if I don't put in hard work, if I don't create new ideas as marketing, if I don't hire good workers, I'm losing money. But if I put in more work, I'm making more money. But as a minimum wage job person, if you fucking make the sandwiches that just like you're supposed to, which anybody can, by the way. Like, I can literally get my little sister to pull up and I can show her how to make the sandwiches. She'll make the sandwiches, right? If you do what you're supposed to, you're gonna get that $16 per hour no matter what. There is no risk involved for you. So why should you get a higher reward? If we lose, if this business goes bad, I pay for it. So it's only fair that if the business goes good, I get the most money. And I gain from it. But you, if the business goes good or bad, you get the same amount of money. There's guarantees for you. That's the whole point. Bro, that's the whole point. That's why high risk, high reward. That's the whole point, bro. And like, I hate these little ass motherfuckers that do nothing. Bro, making sandwiches talking about we should get paid more. Workers should get paid more. There's thousands of workers. Nigga, get out. I'll get another worker. You think I'm about to argue with you? I think what you're doing is worth this amount of money. Either you're going to take it or somebody else will. But you can't say that about every businessman. There's not a lot of businessmen out here that you can just say, oh, skedaddle, I'll just get another businessman. Mook Menace was goody.
Listen, there's people who take risk and they risk their money. That's creating value. What you discount is the person willing to risk their savings, okay, and provide capital for that venture and to be paid last. So if it goes busto, the worker still gets paid, the investor doesn't. If it goes well, the worker gets paid and the investor makes money. You discount the role of capital and savings in any type of venture. Like, my mom didn't want to be rich. She wanted to be a school teacher and work and do that and live in the middle ground, and that's fine. But there are people like me who want to take a lot of risk and get a lot of reward. And we put that capital to work. And you should respect that.
Wow! I love you, man. Good shit.
My name is Bill
Perfectly
Perkins.
said.
I run a hedge fund. I do investments and other things. I manage my own money. How much I make annually? Sometimes I lose money, but I'd say on average over 10 million a year. I took care of my dad in the last years of his life. He died broke. I did not inherit my money. I made it myself. I really don't care about the money. Money is a tool for me to have the experiences that I want to have out of life. And there are many experiences that I want to have.
Let me give you another example. Like a real life example. Me, K Money. I have friends, all my friends work security, right? Let's just talk about my friend that makes the most money because he works at Louis Vuitton. He gets paid $24 an hour. $24 an hour. Remember this. He makes $24 an hour, right? No risk. He's at security. He goes to the job. He stands there. If he's there on time and he does what he's supposed to do, he will make money no matter what. He's not investing into it, no nothing. He's just putting in time, $1, and then he gets 1 hour. He puts in 1 hour of his time, and he gets $24 back. No risk, right? Me, on the other hand, I'm live every day. That's really good. That's hella good for security, especially at his age. 18? Hella good. $24? Hella good. But anyways, that's not the point. Me, I put in 2 hours on live. I put in much more hours coming up with ideas, making sure the videos is good, posting videos on TikTok, on YouTube. I put a lot more hours into this, but I make less money than him. Like, it's not guaranteed every hour I make $24. But in the long run, if I blow up, what he's making an hour, I'm gonna make a minute. That's the whole point. What he's making a month, I'm about to make in an hour. Right now, I'm literally like, he's making more money than me. All these equipments, who do you think bought all these equipments? I spent more than 10K on streaming. Believe it or not, bro. My entertainment company is an LLC. Nobody can touch my name, Big Brains ENT. Big Brains ENT is it's our company. Like, if anybody uses Big Brains ENT, I can sue them and get money. So, like, that's an LLC. I'm telling you. I spent a lot of money on this shit. I spent so much time on streaming. Because I know one day it's going to be worth it. But it might not be worth it. And I might lose all this money. So that's the risk. High risk, high reward. That's what I'm talking about. I'm taking high risks. I'm putting a lot of money into this shit. A lot of time. Because I think it's going to pay off one day. And it's going to make me more money than I ever spent on it. But the reason my friend is not doing it, because, you know, he doesn't think it's going to be worth it. He doesn't want to put in the work. He doesn't want to put in the money. Of course he wants to be rich, but he's not willing to do what I'm doing. So he's doing a normal 24-hour job. You got to understand, bro, like, this is how it works. Like, that's why, bro, like, that's why if I had to choose being poor is a choice. Like, that's why. I would say that.
You have to have a certain level of awareness and knowledge to know the rules of the game. And I think that there are barriers put in place to kind of prevent people from knowing the rules, but I think that it's out there and you can have access to it, and it's, you know, I think that knowing the rules is different.
I know the rules and I think they're disgusting. That's why I want to change them.
Why don't you play the game then? I mean, you can
I think they're disgusting. Why would I want to play the game?
As a real estate guy, I can make millions of dollars and use the exact same tax loopholes that a Donald Trump would use and pay effectively no tax. And does that make me a bad guy, or did I just study the tax code?
It makes you a bad guy, yeah.
You think so?
If you do that, yeah.
I'm following the law to a T.
The law is wrong, yeah.
Why is it wrong? It's the law.
I'm not.
You think just because it's law, it's always right?
No, certainly not. Certainly
No,
not.
I'm not saying
but
that.
that's my point.
No, the law is written to encourage investment, is which they want. So he's investing. So, like, the law is written to encourage certain things. If you disagree with it, you can go lobby and change. But he's not a bad guy.
I know you.
These guys are the smartest niggas on Jubilee. I can't even say much because these niggas are saying it all. I'm so proud, bro. I'm so proud. Like, I always have to, like, prove a point when I'm watching Jubilee videos. But, like, this video, like, wow. So proud, man. I'm happy. I am so happy. But, like, there's loopholes all over the place. And those loopholes are made because they want to encourage businessmen, right? Because businessmen bring a lot more value into the economy, into the country in general, than, you know, normal workers. Of course, normal workers play their part, but it's a really small part that anybody can play. Elon Musk, how many people can create Tesla? A person that works for Elon Musk just codes. How many people can code? You see what I mean? How many people a year graduate as computer scientists and can do the same thing that worker is doing? That's something you can just literally go to college for, get a degree, and you're good. But how many people can be like Elon Musk? Very, very, very small percentage. But a worker for Elon Musk, like a coder, a lot of people can take his spot. That's the whole point, bro. like they have more value in this world because they're doing more for this world by working hard. They should get rewarded. You feel me? If they want to go to Earth, I mean, if they want to go to fucking space, let them go to space, nigga.
You mentioned
Elon
that there
Musk
are
big
barriers
PayPal.
in
See,
place
that I
that do
didn't
keep
know.
people kind of in impoverished conditions, but I don't think that we all acknowledge like the mental.
Well, that's where I was going. So if I can reflect on myself, I mean, I remember when I was living in poverty, I was just trying to survive. So I didn't even have the brain capacity to try to, or the willpower to kind of even desire to access the rules of the economy. But I mean, I had an epiphany, and I literally woke up one day and I was like, I cannot live the rest of my life like this, and I don't care if people call me lame, square, they're gonna question my blackness. I mean, I don't care. I'm getting out.
Well, speaking about blackness, do you think there's a correlation between people from the African diaspora and people of color and poverty? You don't think there's like a relationship there?
It's true that,
But
you know,
of course there's a relationship there, but that's a whole different subject we would get into. Like, I feel like that's not part of the economy, I wouldn't say. Like, cause like I feel like the economy is like, you know, when it comes to like tax, when it comes to like how much people are getting paid, that's the economy. Like anything that has to do with money. But now, like, she's getting into like, you know, the political stuff, like this, like the systemical racism, or whatever it's called. Like, she's getting into that more than the economy. You know what I'm saying? So like, of course, being a person of color, being black, does have an effect. But like, she's a black woman, rich as hell. They're all people of color. Not a single white person here except this nigga. And he's poor. Nigga, she's white too, he's poor, nigga.
Belong to a community that makes less than certain other communities. That's
Systematic
true.
racism, man.
Significantly less. But you also you can't look at differences between groups and say it's only because of systems. Systems played a huge deal to it. I'm not discounting that at all. Like, it's a real big deal, and we're working to change that. But also, I mean, statistically, like, people from my old neighborhood and people, you know, around this in these communities, they spend about 50% more on shoes than people who are not in those neighborhoods. And it's like, man, that.
Well, not only that, Todd, but I think I looked up a recent statistic that said that Asian households, their children tend to study 13 to 15 hours a week, where in a black household, it's like 3 hours a week.
I know you said it's not like a race issue, but when you think about the way that we got here as like African people, it was a race issue. We didn't have a chance to discover America like the other people did. So I feel like how you had mentioned that Asian Americans, they study more than black households. You don't feel like those communities are kind of socialized in their upbringing to be more inclined to?
For one, and the reason why I don't like to comment about subjects like this, for one, I'm not very educated in it, and I'm not gonna speak about stuff I don't know much about. But you know, if I see some stuff that's common sense, of course I'll say something about it. And like, for example, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, of course I'm African American, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my ancestors have not went through slavery or anything like that. I came here 6 years ago, bro. So like, I didn't really face racism all my life. I can't speak on that, and I'll never speak on that because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not very educated on it, one, and two, it hasn't affected me personally. Of course, it has affected me in some way, but I didn't even notice it to a point I'm like, damn, like, me being black really, really affected my chances of doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Do care about their finances, as opposed to like African Americans, we would rather look rich than actually be rich. I think that's a part of like our community.
It's a culture. It's a choice.
Well, it's
not a choice.
I don't.
To a certain extent.
I think it's a choice.
2021.
I do think it's a choice. I'm not going to say it's not a choice, but I'm saying, do you feel like some people don't have the same choices as other people's in different communities?
I think some people don't have the mental capacity to allocate the energy to learn the rules of the game, quote unquote, because their instincts are kicking in to just survive.
I think trauma plays a heavier role than we like to account for. Trauma is the reason why I'm here. I come from a family, a heavily cult Islamic family, and the things that I was doing in my life they didn't agree with. They pretty much sent people to my house to kill me. I was set up multiple times. They hacked my social media pages, both my iPhones, you know what I mean? So I don't want to just kind of ignore trauma as if it doesn't really matter in terms of what you are capable of doing, because people that are traumatized and people that do deal with a lot of oppression tend to get some of their choices removed.
I can acknowledge that.
Yeah, 100%. It's good to acknowledge that, but you can't speak that like into an argument. I mean, of course you can, because there's a small percentage of people going through the same thing as you, and it's good to acknowledge it. But like whenever you're talking about, whenever you're having an argument, you gotta think about the majority, right? Like, if the majority of people, if majority of 18-year-olds are murderers, and 19-year-olds are not, like, just because you're 18 and you don't murder, like, you know what I'm saying? You can't be like, oh, there's people that don't murder like me. We're talking about the majority, if that makes sense, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, definitely astaghfirullah, bro. This is crazy, nigga. She's trying to, damn. But but she didn't really, like, I feel like she avoided the subject where she said, like, it's a choice to look rich instead of being rich. But it is a choice. Like, even me, I'm in that. Like, I'm not mature enough. You know, guys, I'm man enough to admit whenever I'm doing something wrong, or, you know what I'm saying, I have like an L mindset on something. I'm literally telling you, like, I'm not man enough to say, like, I don't care what people think about me. I'm gonna just save this money and invest it in something. I'm not man enough to say that. Like, I'm gonna probably end up getting a chain, a iced out watch, grills, 100%, because I know myself. But since I earned that money, nigga, I can do that. But, you know, I am smart enough, though, that I'm not like, I can buy chains right now. Like, but I'm not doing that because I'm not in the position to. So, I mean, that is the good part about me. But in the future, 100%. You can flex what you earned, 100%.
Yes. My name is Hanifa. I'm an author, and I'm currently homeless, so I don't make any money right now. I grew up Muslim my entire life, and in Islam, it is permissible to marry your cousin. So my family enforced sexual acts in between cousins. It led to me having to flee my hometown and come all the way to California, which is 2,600 miles away, just so that I can avoid being killed.
I've worried where my next meal will come from.
Everybody stepping up? Yes.
Me and my partner right now are applying for EBT because we are just like living check to check right now, and I'm supporting both.
I'm sorry for laughing, but bro, my nigga said, yo, me too. Bro, that's not, bro, that's not a flex. You're struggling right now. My nigga said, yo, dude, totally, me too, man.
Me and my partner right now are applying for EBT because we are just like living check to check right now, and I'm supporting both of us because she just lost her job. We're like literally trying to get help from the government so that we can know that we have the funds to get groceries. It's so hard.
And this is what I'm saying, like, you guys, oh my God, this is what I'm saying. There are human beings that don't even have a clue of what it's like to get help from the government. Like, it's crazy. Like, I know you can argue that I pay tax, so I have to get help from the government, blah, blah, blah. But like, the simple opportunities you got, bro. Like, you know you can be paying for light. Like, you know how I'm like paying the light, like my family's paying the light bill. And I can rely that this is not gonna go away. It's good. My light is gonna stay on as long as I have it on. It's gonna stay on, and if I turn it off, it's gonna turn off. In Ethiopia, you can pay for the light bill, but you're not very sure if it's gonna stay on or not. It might go dark out of nowhere. Do you guys understand that, right? And like, your tax money is going for shit like this that you're not even grateful for. You can be paying the water bill in Ethiopia. When you turn on that shit, no water might come out. Why? Nobody knows. It's the government. But my family pays for the water bill right now. My family pays for the water bill right now, and I can go right now. If I want to take a shower, it's guaranteed water is gonna come out. That's where the tax money's going. And it's like, you gotta understand, like, bro, like, you should never rely on the government. You should never have the audacity to complain that, yo, I'm not getting help from the government. You couldn't keep your job, so now you're complaining you're not getting money from the government. It's so sad to see this shit. So sad. Bro, that's why I'm taking advantage of every opportunity I get. COVID started, I couldn't get out the house. I wasn't making no money. Started social media. But like this shit, you can do shit like this since you're in America. But people choose not to. You can never bring that as an argument, bro. Like, it's just, bro, like, you couldn't keep your job. It's your fault, nigga. It's your fault you're hungry right now. It's your fault you're living paycheck to paycheck. Like, people, you can go to McDonald's, bro, work your way up as a manager, live as a manager, bro. Like, it's, bro, you can do it. It's just, like, it's your fault. Nigga, stop blaming it on the government and shit, bro. It's your fault, bro.
Hard, and it feels like it's not as accessible as people make it seem.
Give her some money.
To have everything
I'm sorry. Fuck.
stripped away from you and to not know where you're gonna sleep. It's just very difficult. You know, it almost feels like a past life of having like everything. You know, I had bags. I had to take my little Michael Kors back to the pawn shop, take every item of clothing that I had to Plato's Closet so that I could buy a one-way ticket for myself and my child. I didn't know what we were gonna eat. I didn't know where we were gonna sleep. And not to be a victim, but it's not my fault why I'm here, you know? It's because I speak out against cult behavior. I speak out against pedophilia. And publishing my story has, the domino effect of that has led me to not knowing where I'm gonna eat, and I've never had that happen to me before prior to 4 months.
I was gonna comment about how she got a child, but I did hear that she was forced to marry her cousin and shit like that. I didn't want to comment on that because there might have been some stuff that might have happened that she, like, you know what I'm saying, she did not consent of. I'm not gonna speak on a subject that's sensitive at all. And like I said, there are scenarios where a person has no other choice than to be poor, just like her situation. But for the majority of people, for this purpose of argument, for the purpose of the argument, we have to talk about the majority. For the majority of people, being poor is a choice, bro.
Months ago, and that's just really tough.
Thank you for sharing your story. That's really powerful. And yeah, like, if you need help, like, after this, let's just talk. That pulls on my heartstrings because my mother raised us 3 kids by herself, and my father was a wife beater. He was also a child molester, so anyone listening can connect the dots on that. I feel for you.
I almost want to jump out because it was only a short period of time, you know.
I mean, she cooling after this though. See, I didn't wanna like point that out, but like, she's cooling after this. She's chilling after this. She got the bag. From rags to riches. The other motherfuckers gonna start crying. No. The other motherfuckers gonna start crying now, bruh. Oh my god, that's fucked up.
Just that short period of time when you're busted or whatever, and you're just like, whatever, but you guys were like in the real thick of it. You guys were in the trenches. I visited the trenches for like a couple months.
You had a toe.
I had a toe in the trenches, you know?
So I'm getting paid paycheck to paycheck, and on top of that, I have a crippling gambling addiction. I'm addicted to weed, I'm addicted to alcohol, I'm addicted to vaping. And as soon as I have that direct deposit, it's like I have no control. Almost like I black out and I start gambling, start ordering drinks, start ordering weed, and And then I come out of that no control feeling and I'm like thinking, how am I gonna feed my pets this week, my cat, my dog? Like I had all these plans up to my payday. Before I know it, all my money's gone. And it's addiction.
When you're in a position when you don't have a lot of money, you can't do a lot of things for fun, and you're often just like working, I have to survive, I have to feed myself. And so when you get that paycheck and you have just a little bit of enough money to do something that will spark joy for you, it's so hard to be like, no, I'll put it aside to save. It's like, I'll just do this one thing for myself, I'll just treat myself. And
the rich people did that to get to the position they are. Do you understand what he's saying, Chad? Fuck the other bitch. The other bitch is fucked in the head, bro. She's an addict. She buying fucking weed before food. What you you gonna say about that? Nigga, I'm not gonna say it. I'ma just look at her. Nigga, we had a conversation while she was speaking. And I was looking at you and you were looking at me. I'm not gonna speak on that. It's just I'm not gonna speak on that. Let's speak about this. He said it's so hard to do something you love. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know something you love is cost money. To say no to that so you can save up your money. But the rich people did that hard thing to get what they're on. Like, that's what you're forgetting. Like, they did what you're calling hard to get to the position they are.
And then it's like, well, now it's gone.
I completely understand what you're saying, and I used to think like that too, but I also thought about how joyful it would be to be rich. I would rather not have that instant gratification, because the gratification of being infinitely stable or more stable is more important. My name is Brittany. I am a holistic health practitioner, and I make around $130,000 a year. My relationship with my brother has literally crumbled since I have acquired more money. He only calls me when he needs something. The only person that I really have a relationship with is my mom. I haven't spoken to my brother.
It's tough.
I want them to be happy and, you know, and successful more than anything, but it almost feels dehumanizing to be looked at as just the help and not a sister or a cousin or something like that, yeah.
My name is Mia, and I'm currently working as a customer service representative for a moving and storage company. I make $45K a year. My family has always been like, oh, you gotta look presentable, you gotta look nice whenever we're going out to eat or to the mall. But as an adult, you know, a lot of my money isn't going towards buying new clothes or jewelry, makeup, whatever it might be. So you'll catch me in like sweats and a t-shirt, and I just don't feel presentable enough to be at the mall, to be at a restaurant, because of that embarrassing feeling and shame of not investing more in how I present myself.
The disagreeer.
You're just hanging out back there.
You know, I feel like I misunderstood the prompt.
So have you ever worried about where your next meal was gonna come from?
Just
ever?
once.
Oh, no, I definitely have. Like when I was in college, I was trying to buy groceries, and the lady behind me ended up paying groceries for me, and it's so embarrassing because my card got maxed out and I had no money in the bank account, basically.
$15 an hour?
I would never say, you know, my mom, my father, they took care of business when it had to be taken care of. Not a single day in my whole life did I think where my second meal is gonna come from. And that's all praise to God and thank you to my parents. I will never, ever say something like that and discredit my parents. My dad, my mom, they took care of business when it was due. 100%. They put food on the table. 100%. W parents. 15 an hour is not enough for minimum wage. That ugly ass motherfucker's gonna step up. So Hammy, you're actually wilding with 25. What the fuck? You're actually wild. You know when the minimum wage rises, the value of the dollar decreases? Do you know that, right? Like, you know, when there's more money out there, the value of that money decreases. Like, do you guys understand that, right? And like 15 an hour. Let's just say you work 8 hours. Let me pull up a calculator. Let's say you work for 8 hours a day. That's 120. Times that by 5 days a week. That's 600. Times that by 4. Right? That's a month. You make $2,400 per month. This money can get you past a month, 100%, bro. Like, you can pay rent. You can pay for your food. You can pay for the bills. Nigga, but there's gonna be sacrifices you need to make. Like, you might not have enough money to go to take the bus to work, to take an Uber to work. So you take the bus, or you gotta fucking walk. And in a year, you're making $28,000. All I'm saying is, like, if you're not being done with your money, bro, you can get by and you can make it out, bro. Like, let me tell you something. Like, chat, you dead ass don't fucking understand. Like, I swear to God. Like, in Ethiopia, somebody could work for literally $2 a day. $2 a day. Bro, like, you guys could understand, bro. Like,
Is not enough for minimum wage.
I did have a question for you two. You both mentioned that you suffer from addiction and that as soon as you get a paycheck, it's gone, whether it's gambling or weed or shopping or whatever. If you had a higher income, would that change?
Personally, yes, because the whole reason I gamble is like, let me get that $60,000 win and I'll stop gambling. That's my mindset, right? And another thing is, I feel like if I were to have like passive income, I guess you can say, or be financially stable, I can pursue and distract myself with my actual passions. Like, I want to start a true crime YouTube channel, but I don't have the laptop, I don't have the camera. The addiction takes control, so I don't think about the things I don't have, and I just feel numb and thought.
or have you ever thought about it as you have more money to get more drugs now?
And I'm just enjoying my TV, and so yeah, I feel like it would change. I would be able to have other distractions that are beneficial to me in a positive way.
If you had more money, you could probably have access to help, like medical help.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
psychiatrists, because that's really expensive, and you can't afford it living off of minimum wage. You know.
I feel like
Since you can't get help from a psychiatrist, yeah, just fucking keep smoking. Keep smoking keep gambling until you get that, big 60K. Keep smoking, keep gambling, yeah.
a lot of jobs will pay minimum wage, but they will expect maximum effort.
Look
And
at what
I'm
Izzy
like,
said. Look at what Izzy said. Yes, sir, bro. Look at what Izzy said, bro. Good shit. Izzy, thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you very much.
If you're gonna pay me minimum wage, I'm putting in the bare minimum effort.
I've always looked at it the opposite way. Like, if I go into a company and they're paying me minimum wage, I do everything that I can to get promoted. Hi, my name is Todd.
That's two different mindsets. Please, let's run that back. This is the difference between the poor and the rich. Please, this is literally, bro, like, this is a prime example of the difference between the poor and the rich. Look at what he said.
The bare minimum effort. A lot of jobs will pay minimum wage, but they will expect maximum effort. And I'm like, if you're gonna pay me minimum wage, I'm putting in the bare minimum effort.
I've always looked at it the opposite way. Like, if I go into a company and they're paying me minimum wage, I do everything that I can to get promoted.
That is the tool. Like, it's done. The video is done. That's the prime example of the difference between poor people and the rich people. It's literally like the mindset. You can either get minimum wage and do the bare minimum and keep on getting minimum wage, or you could work your ass off so you can get a promotion. That's the difference. That is it, bro. Like, if that doesn't prove to you, like, the difference between rich and poor people, I don't know what will, bro. Like, it's actually crazy.
Hi, my name is Todd. I am 29 years old. I am a real estate investor and a YouTuber, and I make about $1.4 million per year.
Yeah!
When you grow up the way I did with no money and your mom is struggling and crying herself to sleep every night because you can't pay the bills, that takes a toll on you as a kid and seeing that struggle. I got my first job when I was 12 years old, literally shoveling horse poop for $3 an hour. And I looked at myself when I was 12 years old and I was like, you've got to make $1 million a year by the time you're 30.
My name is Sean. I'm 23 years old. I'm a musician and content creator, and I make minimum wage at a retail job. If I wasn't having to work every day to pay my rent, then I would have more time to make music and connect with people and find venues to perform my music. And if I had the money, I would be able to market and promote my music so that it could reach a wider audience.
So just let the money, let the government just hand you money while you're chilling making music.
For me, my mindset is working minimum wage is always temporary. It's always been like, okay, we work minimum wage, but we're gonna work harder to get promoted, and then we're gonna do something else with our lives.
Many, many, many years ago, you could go live off the land. You didn't have to work for somebody in order to survive. All the land is taken. It's in federal land. You can't go fishing in these federal streams. You can't do that. So that's not possible at scale. In order to survive, you must work for someone else. That forces wages down. Right? People can't just go, F you, I'm not gonna work, I'm gonna chill and work on my novel or do whatever. So that's the part where I agree with you on, like, I'm a supporter of UBI so that people aren't forced to work. Now where I disagree is that
UBI,
we don't pay people based on what they need. And you were kind of pointing to this. I give the minimum effort if you pay me minimum wage. But there's certain jobs that are not worth $15 an hour. They're just frankly not worth it. Maybe they're worth $5, maybe they're worth $2. I want you to watch TV for an hour in your house and tell me how many commercials come up, because I'm doing a survey. I want to pay you $7 an hour. You think I should have to pay you $15 an hour for that? Or would you take $7 an hour to sit on your couch and count commercials that show up on the television?
I mean, yeah, I would take any money.
Okay, so everybody here agreed that it should be $15 an hour minimum wage. But by making the wage $15 an hour, you just eliminated a job that he's willing to do.
Take it, nigga.
More money, more problems.
Wait, is this real or is this just a question? Like, nigga, $7, I'll take it, nigga. $7. More money, more problems. Okay. It's a difficult question. It's a very, very... It's a lot more deeper than you guys think. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go a lot deeper with this question than you guys think. Like, more money, more problems. I mean, automatically you would think no. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got money, you buy that nice car you want. If I want to end stream right now, I end stream. I go, you know what I'm saying? I can go to Hawaii right now. You feel me? I can go to, what? Bora Bora? Chill over there. I mean, what? How? How can money bring more problems? Feel me? But it's like when you get, the more money you get, the more fake people you are surrounded by. So like, even like as a normal human being, it's not being fake. It's not being fake. It's not being like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're not real, blah, blah, blah. Like, if I see somebody with money, I feel like you're automatically gonna think, oh, they're successful. 100%. That's the first thing you're gonna think. Oh, they're successful. Right? And you would try to make a connection with them. Why? Because you're trying to get like them. But imagine how that person feels when he notices that, damn, that nigga's only fucking with me because I'm at where he wants to be. I got the money he wants to have. But what if that's not possible, CeeLo? If Aiden Ross told you he ain't got no money, would you believe him? How many bitches fucked with Adin Ross just so they can get the money? Adin Ross can never know if he's actually cute or not because there's in the back of his head there's always that doubt that, oh, this nigga might only want my money. So does it bring more problems? 100%. It brings more problems. But does it solve more problems than it brings? That's a better point. So I feel like my conclusion for this question would be it solves more problems than it brings.
More money, more problems, but that's a path that I'm willing to take on because the problems that come along with not having money,
Let's calm down.
I can't imagine going back there. I made it a point to position myself adjacent to people who I felt like I could learn from. I remember parking my little Chevy Cruze up off of Griffith Observatory in Hollywood Hills just to be around money.
You see that?
You guys mind if I start?
Yeah, please.
A lot of the problems in my life would be solved with just, not even if I was rich, but just like a little bit more money. I would just have so much less stress and less things to worry about, and I wouldn't be finding myself in these situations where I'm worried about how am I gonna pay rent? How am I going to get gas to drive? How am I gonna eat?
More money, like more social responsibility, right? Going back to.
What does that mean?
Like, if you're a billionaire, then you have social responsibility to take care of people who might have less than you.
Really? I'm not seeing that. In modern day life.
You have a billionaire beef. You got a billionaire
modern day
beef.
life, what are billionaires doing?
I want to add real quick to what you were saying that I had my first felony when I was 14 years old. I had gotten a DUI in 2018, so I was still going in and out of courthouses. I'm struggling trying to get a job, applying, getting interviews, getting a job offer, background check, offer rescinded, and that hurts a lot. But I'm over here watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Yolanda Hadid's daughter just so happens to also get a DUI, but she's taking off in her modeling career like it was just a hiccup. I'm also seeing cases of affluenza, where this kid driving his dad's truck drunk killed someone, and he gets off for affluenza, which means like you're too rich to know what's good or bad, so you don't get any repercussions.
I've never.
Yeah,
So
it was
to
in
me,
Hollywood too.
I agree with my punishments. I messed up and I will accept
But
it.
you want it to be fair treatment.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because
you've
when
done
I
your
see
time.
that, it's just slap in the face. Like, what is the justice system?
You ain't got no money. That's why. You broke as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if the judge, everybody got a price. So like, I mean, you can pay off the judge if you had money. You broke as fuck. That's why. They probably, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why. Life is not fair. Of course, life is not fair. Like, you can complain all you want, or you can get off your ass and get money. You feel me? So you ain't got no money. That's why you broke. That's why. I can explain that. But yeah, man. I forgot what I was about to say. Like I said, all these people are making valid points. If you had money, you can get away with a lot of stuff. A lot of problems would be solved. But I feel like the more problem part that comes with it is mentally. Feel me? So I feel like money could really, really, really fuck with you mentally. And you guys know what's the point of money if it's not making you happy. Everybody works for money so it can make you happy. Like, you can define happiness all you want. Like, it doesn't matter to me. You can define happiness however you want. You can define happiness as, you know, you driving a Bentley, or you can define happiness as you leaving at a beach house. But the resource to get that thing that will make you happy is money. So like, no matter how you look at it, your happiness costs money. Probably. So yeah, like I said, money solves more problems than it brings, but definitely more problems. The statement is true, 100%. But it does solve more problems than it brings, but it does bring problems.
That's not justice.
Listen, I like the song More Money, More Problems.
I like it too.
It's jamming.
I love
but
the song.
it's really more money, different problems.
Yeah.
And that's a cut.
That's my nigga, like, Kanai! Nah, that's my nigga, like, what's his name, bro? Bill or something? His name is Bill or something? Nah, that's my nigga, man. Nah, that's my dog, bro. Nah, bro. Nah, yeah, Bill, Bill, nah. Nah, Bill, that's my nigga, man. That's my nigga, man.
We did it.
Bill's my nigga, man. Bill, what's up, man? Peace out. Stay safe, Bill. Hey, stay blessed, man. Keep making money. Keep getting richer. You know what I'm saying? Keep getting money. Keep getting richer. You know what I'm saying? That's my nigga Bill, man. That's my nigga, man.